Thanks for selecting creeform material handling systems, the gateway to achieving continuous improvement. You are about to take your first steps with the system, familiarizing yourself with the fundamentals of construction, and more importantly, the concepts inherent to the system. Flexibility and agility, ergonomics, cost reduction, just-in-time, safety and design for process intent. The creeform system is more than just a series of pipes and joints, nuts and bolts. It's a workplace philosophy, encouraging ideas for improvement, providing simple and economical tools for the implementation of those ideas, and building material handling solutions that really work. Think of this video as an action-adventure movie. First, we'll begin with the action. Fabrication and assembly guidelines that will help make constructing your first creeform structure easier. Then, the adventure. Design strategies, technical information, and a demonstration of creeform accessories that will help you progress to the more complex structures and help you get specific for your own applications, processes, and material handling needs. If you've received hands-on training from a creeform sales engineer, this video will serve as a refresher. To help you more, we recommend that you have a creeform starter kit on hand. The 3 structures we show in the Assembly Guidelines booklet, a work table, a push cart, and a flow rack, can be made with the components found in the kit. Possibly, you've had creeform engineers design a basic structure for you, with a materials list developed. The construction techniques demonstrated, however, apply in both situations and all future projects. The simplicity of creeform means you will use these same methods regardless of the structure's function, size, or complexity. The first structure that will be built in this assembly demonstration is a simple work table. After it is constructed, we will change it into the push cart shown in the Creeform Assembly Guideline booklet. Before we begin assembly, a few preparations are in order. First, find a suitable work area with open space and a flat surface. A large tabletop will do, to organize materials, to handle and cut the creeform pipe and assemble the project. Next, gather the basic tools that are required. Either a manual pipe cutter, the creeform electric pipe cutter, or a bandsaw should always be employed for round pipe. Use of a handsaw is to be avoided, as this will typically result in out-of-square ends and pipe that does not properly seat in the joints, which can affect the strength of your creeform structure. Some pipe styles, such as slide pipe, flat pipe, and conveyor, will require the use of a bandsaw. Make sure the blade is sharp and alignment is true, to help assure that ends are cut as square as possible. You'll also need a 5mm hex wrench, a pipe deburring tool or file, a 13mm socket wrench, metric tape measure, soft mallet, creeform caster wrench, and marking pen. For safety, always wear eye protection. Remove jewelry and do not wear loose-fitting clothing. Keep the creeform catalog on hand as a reference source for dimensions and other helpful construction hints throughout its sections. Cutting the first piece of pipe for our table starts the construction process. We will be using 28mm diameter round pipe in this example. Section C in the creeform catalog depicts the various pipe styles and colors that are available, and later in this demonstration, we will discuss other pipe options. Throughout the cutting and assembly procedures, remember to handle pipe sections with as much care as possible. Deforming the ends may hamper assembly efforts and affect a structure's strength. And although tough, the outer resin coating can be scratched, undermining its protective properties. To begin, we need to determine the outside dimensions of the table. For this demonstration, our table will finish at 613 millimeters deep by 933 millimeters long and 850 millimeters from floor to the table surface. Section B of the creeform catalog provides examples for determining actual lengths to cut pipe, allowing for joint radii and insertion depths to achieve the structure's finished dimensions. Although the allowance is different for plastic joints as opposed to metal joints, this formula will remain constant. After trying a few pieces, this will become a familiar element of each application. Start by cutting the pipe that will give us the 613 millimeters table depth dimension. Using the guidelines for metal joints in Section B of the catalog, we determine the pipe length to be 510 millimeters. With a tape measure, mark this length on the first piece of pipe. First, we'll demonstrate the manual pipe cutter. Open the clamp to allow the pipe to slip in. Then retighten until the cutter blade, aligned with the mark, pierces the surface. Rotate the pipe cutter around the pipe. Tighten the handle slightly and rotate, repeating this process until the cut is complete. The creeform electric pipe cutter operates in the same manner. Set the cutter head in the start position. Open the clamping mechanism and place the pipe in the cradle, taking care to align your cutoff mark with the cutter blade. Lock down the clamp unit. Close the protective cover and press the start button. During operation, the cutting head rotates, not the pipe, so please keep hands away from this area. Once the cut is complete, the pipe cutter will automatically shut off, and the pipe can be removed. We recommend that the pipe piece being cut off be supported or held so it doesn't drop to the floor and damage the pipe end. For complete details on the operation, adjustments, blade replacement, maintenance, and safety, refer to the operator's manual that came with your electric pipe cutter. We then proceed with marking and cutting the rest of the pipe needed for the work table. Make sure to mark the end of each pipe piece for easy identification. Organize the pipes as to lengths. Lay out joints and make sure tools needed for assembly are handy. At this point, it's recommended that a deburring tool be used on the pipe ends to break sharp edges. Metal joints typically consist of two individual pieces that interlock and are secured with a 6 millimeter bolt and nut. After attaching the joint to the pipe, insert the nut on the inside half of the joint and the bolt from the other side. Fully insert the second piece of pipe to the stop and tighten the nut and bolt to the recommended torque, being careful not to over-tighten. This not only draws the two pieces of the joint together, but also applies the pressure for the joint to grip the two pipe sections. Some structures may require a combination of joints to be used. Section D of the creeform catalog illustrates metal joint options and uses. The first assembly step is to select the 4 pipe sections that will become the legs and insert the threaded metal inserts for the height adjusting feet. This is easier to do now rather than after the unit is assembled. We're going to build one side of the table first. Select one HJ2 corner joint and insert the first piece of pipe into the outer half. Position the second piece of pipe into the joint. Then add the inside section of the HJ2 joint. Insert the bolt from the outside and assemble the nut on the inside. Tighten this joint. Now insert another bolt and nut in the other hole of the HJ2, but do not tighten. Add another HJ2 joint to the other corner and tighten the nut and bolt. Turn the assembly around and add 2 more HJ2 joints in the same manner and set this subassembly aside. Next, mark the 2 884 millimeter pipes at 750 millimeters from the bottom edge. Then assemble an HJ2 above each mark. Then complete this side in the same manner as the first side. In most applications, assembly will be easier when structures are divided into subsections before joining and tying the sections together with cross members. Now add the 510 millimeter pipes which will join the two sides. Now add the second side or subassembly and tighten all fasteners. Next, add the height adjuster feet at the bottom corners, providing approximately 50 millimeters of adjustment for unlevel floors. Now put the unit on the floor to complete the final assembly. Mark the center points for the top center brace at 450 millimeters, measuring center to center from an HJ2 joint. Attach an HJ1 on each side. Add the center brace and tighten the fasteners. The top can be cut from masonite, plywood, or plastic materials to finish the table. A variety of fasteners can be used to hold the top in place. In this case, we are using small pieces of Velcro. With the top in place, attach two MF1-1 joints and the piece of flat pipe at the top of the extended pipes, and tighten the joints. The final step is to fill in all exposed pipe ends with J110 plugs. Add some plastic parts bins and your work table is ready to use. With very little modification, the completed project is easily transformed from a stationary table into a push cart. We will add a handle and insert casters instead of using the height adjuster feet. We are using the creeform YGR series stem casters. They are attached to the cart by means of an expanding rubber mandrel. First, using the EK20 caster wrench, adjust the large nut on the caster until the mandrel snugly slips into the pipe. Insert the mandrel fully into the pipe. Then turn the adjusting nut clockwise. This action expands the rubber mandrel until the caster is secure. Complete the assembly of the other three casters. Section G in the creeform catalog shows the various caster styles and floor locks available. Two options can be used for adding the push handle after moving one of the 854 millimeter pipes to the end of the table. We can continue to use metal joints, added to the pipe ends at one end of the table, or use one each J100R and L plastic joints, made specifically for handle construction. In the creeform catalog, the full range of plastic joints are shown in Section E. At this point, we'll demonstrate the procedures for using plastic joints and creeform adhesive. We recommend that a well-ventilated area be used. Later in the video, we'll discuss the factors to be considered when deciding whether to use metal or plastic joints. First, make sure pipe ends are clean and burr-free. Dry fit your structure to verify all dimensions. Apply the proper amount of creeform adhesive. Typically 7/10 of a cc, uniformly around the bond area. When possible, we recommend rotating the pipe in the joint with a slight up and down motion to ensure proper adhesive disbursement. Allow the bonded joints to set for 10 to 15 minutes before moving the structure when completed. It will reach 80% adhesion in 24 hours. The creeform adhesive is specially formulated to chemically react with the resin coating and plastic joints of the creeform system. Only use creeform recommended adhesives when building creeform structures. And do not use creeform adhesive for other purposes. Review adhesive precautions and use guidelines in Section B of the catalog. The construction principles for building a flow rack are the same as with the table or cart. In this segment, we will be introducing the use of creeform accessories designed for special functions, such as plastic wheel conveyor and slide pipe, and for building a structure with greater load-bearing capacity through the addition of cross-bracing members and plate-mounted casters. Accessories are listed in Section F of the catalog, and angle-adjustable metal joints for cross-bracing are in Section D. Fixed-angle plastic joints, Section E. Load-bearing specifications for pipe sections, joints, and roller track are described in Section B. The frames of the flow rack are built in the same manner as the table and pushcart. We've started with the base of the rack. At the bottom are two additional parallel pipe sections running the length of the rack frame. Here we attach the casters using upper and lower straps with bolts using a 13mm socket wrench. Although the assembly process is the same, we highlight the addition of angled bracing and the adjustable joints used, part number HJ7 and HJ12, that can enhance structure stability and load carrying capacity. The balance of the frame and cross supports are added. Note that cross members have been placed at heights that will provide slope to plastic wheel conveyors for gravity feed, and at heights determined to be the most ergonomic. We recommend a 3 or 4 degree slope for proper flow when using plastic wheel conveyors, and a 6 degree or greater slope when using slide pipe. Adding plastic wheel conveyors, aluminum rails with plastic wheels, is as simple as the basic structure. The conveyor can be cut to length, and using mounting brackets, are attached to pipe cross members. Note that mounting brackets are available with stops at the lower end of the rack to prevent containers from falling off. Brackets are also available to splice track segments together, as flexible unions to adjust track slope, and for intermediary support. Just as easily, we can substitute creeform slide pipe, which has a low friction flat surface, for all of the plastic wheel conveyor, or for only sections of the conveyor, as shown here for presentation of containers. Guide rails can also be added, assuring containers remain on the conveyor or slide pipe, or add additional levels to your flow rack for increased capacity, or a level that slopes opposite the first, to return empty containers or processed parts to the loading end of the flow rack. For flow racks, and any of the hundreds of other material handling solutions offered by the creeform system, the designs are virtually limitless, restricted only by your imagination. We have now completed the construction of general-purpose structures, illustrating the assembly principles you will use throughout the creeform system. Now, some guidelines to designing structures tailored to your specific applications. When making your design decisions, always keep in mind that the ultimate goal is to achieve continuous improvement. And continuous improvement has no magical single solution. Every element is important: people, machines, processes, and material handling. While creeform is a product, once in use, its performance helps enable the 5S philosophy to continuous improvement. Straighten, organize the work area. Standardize, arrange needed tools in predetermined places. Shine, keep personal appearance and work area clean and tidy. Sweep, clean area and tools regularly. Sustain, establish and abide by good work habits. Creeform is smart, simple, mobile, adjustable, reusable, temporary. The creeform system encourages worker involvement from all levels to design solutions that improve operations economically and simply. With creeform structures, size and function are determined by you. Carts can be made to negotiate narrow aisles or made to move materials efficiently. Workstations that organize and present components and tools for more efficient assembly, and can be made height adjustable to ergonomically accommodate workers of varying statures. Roller conveyors and flow racks that fit between machines. Delivering materials for processing right to the operator. Eliminating steps. Eliminating bending and reaching. For maintenance staffs, a portable tool crib folds for maneuverability. Opens wide with tools and repair parts organized for quick use. For automated parts handling, Creeform's automated guided cart system is just as easy and flexible to use as its structures. The flexibility of the AGC layout mirrors the flexibility of the entire Creeform system and its contribution to continuous improvement. Even Creeform structures, once designed and in use for a period of time, may be improved upon. Never throw Creeform components away. If you are going to modify the design of a Creeform structure, metal joints and pipe sections may be reused unless there is evidence of damage. Even pipe sections too short for the current project may find life in the next structure. Unfortunately, plastic joints, because of the permanent bonding process, cannot be reused. But if the plastic joint structure is no longer needed, the pipe sections can be reused by cutting the pipe as close to the joints as possible. When to use plastic joints? Why select metal joints? Basically, this is your choice, but your application may help determine which is right for you. First, plastic joints are best suited for applications where modification is not in the foreseeable future because of their permanent bonding. Secondly, plastic joints will make your structure lighter, provide a higher degree of protection from some harsh environments, and typically provide a slight edge in strength. Metal joints offer maximum design modification and reuse flexibility. Creeform structures may also be built using both types of joints. Again, this is dependent upon your particular application. When considering which elements to include in your design and its function, keep the Creeform catalog and the Creeform Assembly Guidelines booklet close and refer to them often. The accessory section, Section F, features a wide variety of options that make construction of special-purpose structures easier and more efficient. Hitches for tuggable carts, hinges for folding doors and gates, hangers and clamps, a selection of pipe ends, stanchions and feet, metal guard sleeves, and more. Technical specifications, pipe, joints, accessories, casters, tool requirements, fasteners, all sectioned for quick and easy location and reference. Plus, whenever possible, each component is shown with a dimensioned drawing, a photo, and description. The description provides color and size options, assembly method, typical uses, special notes, and gives cross-reference to any additional parts or components required to complete an assembly. Once use and implementation of Creeform structures begins to expand within your organization, you may want to establish a Creeform workshop, an area dedicated to creating and building Creeform structures and continuous improvement. Your workshop should include an inventory of pipe, the most frequently used joints, and accessories, plus all the tools and space necessary to make the construction process efficient and accessible, and design assistance, plus answers to questions that may arise, are always just a phone call away with a Creeform application specialist. The Creeform material handling system lets you design and build structures to exacting specifications and application needs without having to compromise your productivity, with off-the-shelf, one-size-fits-all items, or the time and high cost of custom-made, dedicated structures that lack flexibility when your needs change. And structures made with creeform offer comparable strength to welded steel structures with about half the weight. When you add it all up, creeform gives you the ability to be lean, agile, just in time, and on the path to continuous improvement.